Hi, this is Rabbi Aharon Dobinsky coming to you today from the Huchel Chesed Yeshiva in the holy city of Yerushalayim, under the direction of our beloved Rabbi and spiritual leader, Rabbi Shalom Arush Shlita. Some of you who've been following me for a while know that I usually, some point in my shiurim, wish you love, joy, and fulfillment in your life. And I actually had someone this last week ask me, what do I mean by that, and how do we do this? Now, there's only going to be less than 10 minutes, so I'm going to have to give you the abridged version, but hopefully it will give you the direction you need to go forward to a life of love, joy, and fulfillment. Let's start with love. Love is a two-sided thing. You can get it, you can give it. Which one will bring you joy? Both. It's just a matter of how you use them. The Maharal, in his Nativ Gemelot Hasadim, talked about 6 things that will bring you fulfillment in life. 6 things that Hashem will repay. He says the mitzvot have interest in this world and the principal reward in the world to come. One of them is judging your fellow favorably. Now, fortunately, we have a great example of this just this week's Parsha. Avraham Avinu, bargaining for the lives of those of Sodom and Gomorrah. People who we know were sinners. We know that Hashem wanted to wipe them out. We know they had the same fate coming to them as the people of the Mabul. But let's look at the difference here. At the time of the Mabul, Noach, who was said to be a pious man for his generation, was told, build an ark. I'm going to destroy the world. I'm going to kill all the people. And that was it. He did what he was told. He moved forward. And that was the story of Noach. Abraham was at a much higher level. He was told, I'm going to destroy the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. Now remember, you're talking about cities of substantial size, of hundreds of thousands of people. And Avraham Avinu bargained from 50 people. What if there's only 50 people there who are pious, who are not sinners, who have not done wrong? Will you kill all these people? Because even though that you have 50 people there who are not that way? Hashem said, no, 50 people? Good. He said, how about 45? What if there's only 5 missing from those 50? No, Hashem said, that's fine. 40, 30, 20. Avraham Avinu bargained him down to 10. If there are only 10 pious people in all of Sodom and Gomorrah, he would save it. There weren't. Of course, we know the rest of the story. They were indeed destroyed. But for Abraham's effort, this comes to him because the Maharal also says, Hashem rewards kindness, even if the recipient doesn't need it. All this is because one who has the attribute of chesed and kindness, certainly Hashem will repay him with good. Measure for measure, neged kamidah neged. And it said, anything who acts kindly in another, Hashem will repay. If you act kindly to another, Hashem will pay you. If you show love to another, Hashem will pay you, even if the person isn't worthy of it, but if the person needs it, so much more so. So Abraham here, we see what the kindnesses that he had. So this is something to his credit as he moves forward. So we take from love, we go to joy. He loved these people. Well, he didn't love them particularly person by person, but he loved the fact that they were human beings and had a right to live. And he at one time had asked Shem, one of the sons of Noach, why were they saved during the Mabul? Why were they saved during the flood? Why were they chosen to be saved? And Shem said, because of love. Abraham didn't understand. Love for who? And Shem explained to him the love for the animals. They sometimes stayed up day and night feeding the animals. And Avraham Avinu thought, well, if you must show that much love to animals, certainly you must show that much love to human beings. And that's why he tried to make sure that if there were people worth saving, they could be saved. Could you not love somebody like this? And his love for the people was obvious. The fact that he would do anything, have some of the people saved, his love was absolutely indisputable. What about joy? Well, Abraham, it says, at the time of the building of the Mizbeach to sacrifice his son, Isaac, that he put the Mizbeach together, he put the altar together to sacrifice his very own son, the son it took him 100 years to have. He did it with the same joy he would have done had he been putting together a chuppah for his son for his wedding. How does he do that? How do you do this? You wait 100 years for your son to be born to you. He's 37 years old. You've only had this much time with him, and Hashem tells you to take him to the altar to sacrifice him. By the way, there's a little turn of a phrase there that we're going to get into in just a minute. So Abraham, it says, gets up early in the morning, saddles his own donkey. He didn't want to be held behind. He wanted to fulfill this mitzvah with the same joy he fulfilled every mitzvah with. Because, once again, you have to understand that a mitzvah is not a mitzvah without the joy. Any mitzvah. If you begrudgingly keep kashrus, it's not a mitzvah. If you begrudgingly give tzedakah, it's not a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah when you do it with joy. Remember what Rabbi Nachman says. Mitzvah gedolah liyot b'simcha tamid. It's a great mitzvah to live in joy always. So everything you do has to have joy involved in it. This is imperative for everything we do. Particularly at this point, Avraham Avinu is now getting ready to sacrifice his only son. How could he do this? Well, we can talk about the logical things. The fact that Hashem had already told him that Isaac was going to bear the seed from him to bring down to future generations. That's possible. Maybe he didn't really mean it. Maybe yes, maybe no. The word of Hashem is pretty indisputable. When he says give him up, he means give him up. Okay, so we say, well, maybe that's not it. But they're coming to Mount Moriah, where he was going to do the sacrifice. 3 days after Mount Moriah, Abraham stops. He sees the mountain from afar. And he says to Eliezer, who's with him, his servant, do you see that? And Eliezer says, see what? So he goes to Ishmael, his other son. He says, Ishmael, do you see that? And Ishmael goes, see what, father? Nothing. Then he says to Isaac, Isaac, do you see that? Isaac says, yes, I see the Shekhinah. It's where heaven and earth kiss. So he had to know at this point, Isaac was going to be the one, and Hashem had told him, was going to carry on his name to future generations. Again, it's only the physical, and you still have the fact that on the other side you have Hashem saying, bring your son to the altar to give him to me. However, the one thing that we don't talk about here, and we talk about usually, is Emunah. Avraham Avinu knew what the Rambam had told us in his first rule, the fact that everything comes from Hashem. It all has purpose, and that purpose always is for our ultimate best, whether or not we see it at the time or not. So, he knew whatever Hashem had in mind, it was for the best. And of course, when he gets them there, Hashem does not let him sacrifice his son. The Malach says, don't sacrifice your son. And Hashem and Abraham says, yeah, but Hashem said I have to. I can't listen to you. Maybe you're a bad messenger. So Hashem opened the heavens and said to him, don't sacrifice your son. He said, well, I need to ask you why. He said, I didn't tell you to sacrifice him. I told you to bring him to the altar to sacrifice. I didn't tell you you would have to sacrifice him. So that's how he explains it to him. So this gives him even more joy than what he had done before. So you see, his love led to his joy, and love and joy lead to fulfillment. I had somebody in my shul this Shabbos ask me, what are you so happy about? I said to him, well, I woke up this morning, I'm in Jerusalem, and it's Shabbos. What else do we need in life? My needs are simple, I suppose. My wants are very great, but my needs, I suppose, are simple, because that's enough for me to give me love, joy, and fulfillment. We are happy because we can live a life of love, because we can live a life of joy. That's what makes our life fulfilling. So, having said all that, I wish you all lives of love, joy, and fulfillment, knowing they all go together to bring you the life that you want. May you all be blessed. May you have a great week ahead, Shavua Tov, and may Hashem grant you all of your needs and many of your wants. Be well, my friends. All the best.